I never thought I'd find myself in the middle of a real-life horror story, but the events of my sophomore year in college changed everything. It all began innocently enough, with the excitement of moving into a new apartment and sharing it with a roommate I had found through a classified ad. Little did I know this would be the start of a disturbing and truly terrifying experience. It was a warm summer afternoon when I first spotted the classified ad online. The title was simple and inviting. Looking for a roommate, spacious apartment, perfect location. The ad described the apartment as a cozy 2-bedroom unit in a quiet neighborhood just a few blocks away from the university. The rent was affordable, and the photos showed a clean, well-maintained space with a spacious living room, a modern kitchen, and a balcony that overlooked a small park. Feeling lucky, I reached out to the advertiser, a guy named Mark, to set up a meeting. We met at a coffee shop near the apartment, and he seemed like a friendly, easygoing guy. He assured me that he was clean, responsible, and drama-free, and after a brief conversation, we agreed to move forward with the arrangement. Move-in day arrived quickly, and I was excited to start this new chapter of my life. Mark and I spent the morning unpacking our belongings and arranging the furniture. He seemed normal enough, just as he had appeared during our initial meeting. As the day turned into evening, we decided to order some pizza and get to know each other better. Over dinner, Mark shared some interesting stories about his life and hobbies. He had a passion for photography and showed me a portfolio of his work, which was impressive. We discussed our classes, our favorite movies, and our plans for the upcoming semester. Everything seemed perfectly fine, and I felt like I had lucked out with such a great roommate. The first few weeks in the apartment went smoothly. Mark and I established a routine, and we respected each other's privacy. However, as time passed, I began to notice some peculiar behavior from my roommate. It started with small things, like strange noises coming from his room late at night, and the unsettling feeling that someone was watching me while I slept. One night I woke up to the sound of whispering. At first I thought I was dreaming, but as I became more alert, I realized the voices were coming from Mark's room. I strained my ears to listen, and it became clear that he was having a conversation with someone. But there was something eerie about it. The voices were hushed, and I couldn't make out what they were saying. The next morning, I casually asked Mark about the late-night conversation, hoping for a rational explanation. He brushed it off, claiming that he had been on the phone with a friend and had been trying not to wake me up. I accepted his explanation, albeit reluctantly, and tried to put the incident out of my mind. As the weeks passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about Mark. He became increasingly secretive, locking his bedroom door whenever he left the apartment. I found it odd that he was so protective of his room, especially since we had initially agreed to share certain spaces in the apartment. One day, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate. Mark had left for his afternoon classes, and I knew I had a window of opportunity. I quietly approached his room and tried the doorknob. To my surprise, it was unlocked. Cautiously, I pushed the door open and peered inside. What I saw sent chills down my spine. The room was unlike anything I had expected. It was dimly lit, and the walls were covered in photographs. Creepy, unsettling photographs. Each image featured a different person, their faces distorted by fear or anguish. Some appeared to be crying, while others were in a state of panic. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. It was as if Mark had been secretly photographing people in distress. I felt a surge of fear and disgust wash over me. I quickly retreated from the room, making sure to leave no trace of my intrusion. I knew I had to confront Mark about what I had discovered, but I was terrified of how he might react. I decided to wait until he returned home that evening, and when he did, I couldn't contain my unease any longer. "Mark," I began cautiously, "I need to talk to you about something I found in your room." His expression shifted and he appeared visibly uncomfortable. "What are you talking about?" I took a deep breath and explained what I had seen, the disturbing photographs that adorned his walls. Mark's face turned pale and he stammered, struggling to come up with an explanation. "Look," he finally said, "I can explain. Those photos are part of an art project I've been working on. They're meant to capture raw human emotion, you know. But I get it, they can look pretty disturbing out of context." I wasn't entirely convinced by his explanation, but I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I had jumped to conclusions. Maybe it was just an unusual art project. In the following days, I tried my best to put the unsettling discovery behind me and maintain a sense of normalcy in our apartment. But things only grew stranger from there. Mark's behavior became increasingly erratic. He would disappear for hours on end, only to return home with a wild look in his eyes. One evening, as I was preparing dinner in the kitchen, Mark stumbled into the apartment, covered in dirt and sweat. He looked like he had been digging in the woods. When I asked him what he had been up to, he avoided my question and retreated to his locked room. I couldn't ignore the mounting sense of unease any longer. I decided to do some research on Mark, hoping to uncover any clues about his true intentions. What I discovered sent a shiver down my spine. A simple online search revealed a series of news articles about a string of unsolved disappearances in the area. Each article mentioned the victim's last known location and showed a photograph of them. The images sent a chill down my spine. It was the same style of photography I had seen on Mark's walls. As I read through the articles, a horrifying realization dawned on me. The disappearances dated back several years, coinciding with Mark's time in the area. There was no concrete evidence linking him to the crimes, but the eerie photographs in his room raised disturbing questions. My heart raced as I pieced together the chilling possibility that Mark might be involved in these disappearances. I couldn't trust him any longer, and I feared for my own safety. I knew I had to get out of the apartment and contact the authorities, but I had to be discreet. I packed a small bag with essentials, quietly left the apartment, and found refuge at a friend's place. From there, I called the police and shared my findings with them, including the disturbing photographs and the information about the unsolved disappearances. The investigation that followed was intense, and Mark was brought in for questioning. The police searched his room and discovered disturbing evidence, including journals detailing his thoughts and fantasies. They also found a hidden storage space filled with photographs of the missing individuals, along with personal items that belonged to them. Mark was arrested and charged with multiple counts of kidnapping, as well as other related offenses. The authorities praised my bravery for coming forward and providing crucial information that led to his capture. In the months that followed, I had to come to terms with the trauma of living with a roommate who had harbored such sinister intentions. I moved out of the apartment, eager to leave behind the dark memories that had haunted me there. The court case against Mark proceeded, and he was ultimately sentenced to life in prison for his heinous crimes. The experience left a lasting impact on my life, and I struggled to trust people again, especially when it came to choosing roommates or sharing living spaces. It took years of therapy and support from friends and family to help me regain a sense of security and normalcy. My sophomore year of college had turned into a chilling nightmare, a disturbing true horror story that I never could have imagined. It serves as a haunting reminder that danger can sometimes lurk where you least expect it, and that we must always trust our instincts when something doesn't feel right.